to the Unleash Success Podcast, where we break down the secrets of success to give you real tools and strategies that get real results. And now, here's your host, Corey Corpodian.
Welcome back to the Unleash Success Show. This is Corey Corpodian, I'm your host, and today we are interviewing Jeremy Buendia. He first got started in bodybuilding at the age of 17. He won his first men's physique Mr. Olympia in 2014, and since then, winning 4 consecutive titles. Most recently in 2017. Jeremy, thanks for coming on the show.
Man, thank you for having me, appreciate it.
So, want to get started with a little bit about your backstory and why you got started in bodybuilding and then switched over to physique.
Well, bodybuilding is something that started real young for me. I grew up with a father that loved weights, and ever since I was a toddler, I started out in our smaller house. My dad had his office and had his weight set in there. And we finally got into a house, converted the garage into a weight room. So growing up, getting up in the mornings, getting ready for school, and like most kids have their alarm clocks, I had my dad slamming the weights in the garage right through the next wall from my bedroom. Cool. So I heard the clinking of the weights every single morning as I'm getting ready for school. My dad would be out in the garage. I'd go say goodbye to my mom and drive me to school, and he'd be in there lifting. And that's what I saw each and every single morning. So, from a young age, I just thought that was something that, I was supposed to do. So
right.
I always was fascinated. I always go and play in the weight room when I was a kid and, do pull-ups and push-ups. My dad always had me doing bar dips and push-ups. We had a heavy bag, hit the heavy bag. And he just grew, I grew up around it. And it's something that I've just genuinely has always been a part of me. And I grew up playing a lot of sports. My dad was, he's Filipino, so I come from Filipino descent. He's real strict, has a lot of high standards. His father was in the military. So, discipline is something that was needed to be accounted for at all times. He held us to the highest standards, expected the most out of us in all aspects, school, sports, everything. I had to be the best at it all. And, with that being said, there's a lot of pressure, of having to, be a certain person all these years. But, it taught me a lot about myself, and it gave me a lot of tools that I had taught from a young age that just started making more sense now as an adult. But
sure.
As far as getting into bodybuilding, I played sports all my life, so my dad trained me for these sports. That was always the most prepared athlete all the time. I remember I was like 7 or 8 years old getting ready for my first football season. My brother's 7 years older than me, played ball also. And my first football season was 3 months before trials. My dad had me getting up in the morning running wind sprints. And I was like, why am I running? We don't even start for 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, when everybody else is getting in shape at tryouts, you're already going to be in shape and you're going to be at the front of the line running. When you're running wind sprints, you're already going to be ahead of everybody. And that's kind of the mentality. That's the way I was brought up, is to always be a step ahead, always be prepared, always make sure you're doing more. And, that's just the mentality I've always had since growing up. I had a lot of repercussions from, my peers because of how hard I worked. Almost like they call me a coach, kiss ass or coach's pet or whatnot, because after practice, I would run extra sprints. People they get mad because I would try to make them look bad, or no, it was because I'm trying to be better than everybody else. And if you don't like my hard work and my effort, that's on you.
It's interesting, I played football too, and my dad has really strong work ethic with sports, and you got to be the best. A lot of pressure that comes with, but at a young age, like you said, it gives you the tools and builds that work ethic to be the best and want to be the best. And it sounds like that it started at a really young age for you. How did that translate when you got into bodybuilding? Were you the same guy, always working extra, working harder?
I think what it was is it gave me a competitive edge from a young age. A lot of these guys I'm competing against now are a little bit older than I am, and they also don't have much experience. Especially in the physique division, we don't have to be 230, 40 pounds on stage. So a lot of these guys are able to build these physiques if they have the right genetics in a few years. And with that being said, I've been doing this for over a decade now, probably 15 years since I was 12 years old in the weight room. So I've got a lot more experience in these guys as far as understanding the preparation, what it goes into, the gym IQ, all these things are what gives me the competitive edge on how I'm training to make sure my body comes in better than everybody else. And that's why when you see me on stage, I have a much more complete physique than the other guys because I've been doing it a lot longer. And I also understand bodybuilding through and through. I may not be a 230-pound guy, but I sure as hell train like one. And so the fact of the matter is just the differentiation of my diet and, you know, certain things leading up to a show is why I don't compete in bodybuilding. But as a physique competitor, it hurts when I hear people say we're not bodybuilders, because, you know, we are. And especially myself, I train like an animal. And that's why I feel I have established respect in this organization over the last 2 years because of the training content I have put out and also the improvements in my physique and conditioning. I mean, I was selected as the men's physique competitor this past year by Generation Iron, which is a worldwide vote amongst the bands. I was selected the 2017 most shredded bodybuilder of the year. That's as a men's physique competitor.
Yeah.
And it gives me chills thinking that, because I know the lack of respect my division had when we first started. You know, we got clowned. Even myself, when I was bodybuilding, when the physique division first started, I hated the physique competitors. A bunch of skinny Abercrombie models.
Right. They don't work out legs. That's why they wear the board shorts, right?
But the division has evolved, and I like to take pride in knowing that I was the one that led the division to what it is today. And, awesome. You know, it's also nice to see that my fellow competitors also recognize the hard work that I put in for us athletes in the men's physique division.
What originally started, because you started off as a bodybuilder, you did pretty well in it, you were nationally qualified, you were doing good. Why did you make the switch to men's physique? You
know, I love bodybuilding. It's been my roots. I competed for 4 years in bodybuilding, and I was nationally qualified at 21. So I went to that nationals that year in Las Vegas to kind of scout the competition for the following year. I realized I was young, but I was hungry for a pro card. And I went out to the national. I saw these guys, and my weight class at that time was 174-pound max. These guys are 5'3", 5'4", and they're also 30, 40 years old. So I'm being realistic with myself. Do I want to, if I were to be a professional bodybuilder, I'm going to have to compete at light heavyweight division, 198 pounds and up. You know, is that something that I want to bring my physique to? That means it's a 230, 40-pound off season at 5'7". You know, that's not, in my eyes, not a physique that I want. Not only that, but the things you got to do to push your physique to that level, I'm not willing to do to my body. And, you know, also, you know, realizing the shift in the bodybuilding industry and, you know, the fact that social media is now present and it's got a lot more mainstream is the physique division is what's hot. It's what's more obtainable. It's more acceptable to the public, and that's why it's growing so much. And that's what's revived this whole bodybuilding industry. And
it totally has. The physique, I was thinking about it too. I mean, the idea was like, this is the body you'd walk off the beach with. You know, this isn't the guys that are, you know, 300 pounds of solid muscle. And so it's definitely shifted, caught a lot of attraction. You were even in a physique documentary as it was gaining a lot of momentum, and a lot of people love going to these fitness shows. And if you look at all the magazines now, I mean, you showed me some of your magazines, right? They're all physique guys on the covers of these magazines. It's not bodybuilders anymore.
For the most part. Yeah, for the most part. And, you know, it's just due to the fact of what's socially acceptable. And you go to these bodybuilding shows nowadays and, you know, you have, it's a business too. You gotta understand that, you know, this business doesn't make it, the bodybuilder doesn't make it if money's not being made. And with the addition of bikini and men's physique, you know, it's made it more obtainable for the everyday person. So more people are able to compete now. You go to these shows, there's going to be 100, 200 men's physique and bikini competitors and only 20, 30 bodybuilders competing. Yeah. The industry was dying before these divisions came along.
And I don't knock bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding. You know, ever since I saw Pumping Iron with Arnold, and been a huge fan my whole life. And you know, guys like Phil Heath and those guys are just amazing. Flex Lewis, and just they're so incredible. Their work ethic, it's really admirable. But you're right. For the average person who doesn't really go to the gym or maybe wants to get into a show, i.e., like, you know, I started doing physique 4 years ago. I got, you know, 3 competitions, made it to nationals, really excited, ended up getting skin cancer, knocked me out of the gym for 4 months, and I just kind of shifted gears in my life. But I've been dating a girl, and a few months ago, she said, hey, would you want to do a competition with me? She's going to do bikini, and I'm going to do men's physique. It's not like I've been training for the last 4 years to build muscle like a bodybuilder would have to, but I'm able to, you know, I've been working out, and I'm able to at least try and go into this competition and actually, you know, do well in it in a year. And that's really the goal, which it's very different than bodybuilding. It doesn't take the decade or two of experience necessarily.
Yeah. If you come in conditioned in a physique show, you're going to be the guy that's coming in and has more muscle mass than you that's not as conditioned.
Yeah.
And conditioning is a big factor. You know, I had a client who's 36 years old, and I was working with him about 5 months ago, and he was a everyday guy, beer belly on him, didn't really work out. And in December, he came out here to LA. He's from Phoenix, flew out here, and he won the overall at the show at 143 pounds.
Wow.
Shredded. He beat guys that were 180 pounds in his class that were obviously been bodybuilding a lot longer than he has, but he nailed his prep and came in better condition, shredded, and he won. So that's the difference between bodybuilding and physique. You know, bodybuilding is about mass and everything, and obviously symmetry, just like physique, but you know, size plays a huge factor, whereas guys in physique can get away with being a little smaller.
Yeah, and I don't want to downgrade too the amount of work ethic it does take to be very successful in physique, because you guys have been working at this for a lot of years. As we sit here, I'm looking at these medals that you've got here, 3 up here, 2 more over here on the desk. Just took some pictures with them. It's really fun. And you've been doing this for a lot of years. How have you seen your physique improve over the years? And you know, what are some things or some exercises that you do to really maximize the men's physique?
I mean, my body's changed so much. I started competing at a young age, and even from my first Olympia at 22 to where I'm at now at 27, you know, my physique's changed a lot. You know, your body matures a lot in those years. When I started competing, I was still a boy, I feel. You know, my body hadn't really matured to where it needed to be. And you can tell I was 157 pounds in my first Olympia. And, you know, as I've gotten older, my body just continuously gotten a little more mature, more muscle mass, harder, you know, a little bit of everything. And I finished up this last year on stage at 183, 184 pounds. And my conditioning was a lot harder, a lot more mature looking. And, you know,
yeah, you look great. I mean, I was blown away when I saw you. I was like, holy cow, that is insane. Just incredible conditioning, incredible size, symmetry, and physique it was easy to see that you were clearly a top competitor.
That's what I wanted, was the wow factor this year.
Yeah.
I wanted to walk out, people were like, wow, you know, when they walk out like, damn, he made some huge improvements. And that was the case. You know, even though I saw myself walk out on the stage in the video, I just looked a lot bigger than I was before. And the scorecard reflected. Every year I go in and try to win a perfect score. I want every judge on that panel to tell me I'm the best. And, you know,
yeah.
The 2016-15 Olympia, my 3rd title, I thought I came in really, really good. And Ryan Terry pushed really hard that year. And I thought I was coming for a perfect score that year. And that was my closest Olympia. I won by 1 point. And that kind of like lit a fire in me. Like, damn, he's on right on my tail. Like, I need to do something this year to make a statement. I came in to get a perfect score. I only won by 1 point. That's almost losing in my eyes. So, you know, I came in this year. I was like, I want everybody to know. And, you know, after our pre-judging, I walked backstage and people were just just shaking their head like, I can't believe what you just did. And I felt like I was better the day before. I felt like I spilled over a little bit too. So I wasn't as hard as I could have been. I was harder the day before.
Did you get a perfect score this last year?
I got a perfect score.
Damn.
Across the board.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, every single judge after Olympia came up, were like, you're spot on. We've never judged an Olympia this easy before.
Amazing.
So it's amazing to say, hearing that from Alexander and Ollie and Steve Weinberger and Tyler Mannion. Like, you know, they've been doing this for 20 plus years, and they've, you know, all these Olympia champions they've seen, and to have them come up and tell me this is the easiest one they've ever judged it means a lot. It means I made a statement. You know, this past Olympia was big for me. You know, I had a lot of eyes on me coming in for my 4th title, and, you know, as far as, you know, putting me out there a little more within Olympia, I felt a lot more this year. They put us at the press conference this year with the bodybuilders. That's never happened before. You know, they gave me the mic a few times. You know, it's nice to see that they're incorporating us athletes, us physique competitors up there. And I don't know if you've seen my interview of the press conference, but, you know, I said a lot about the evolution of the men's physique division. And to see where we are now, I keep saying that, it's incredible. That's awesome. A lot of people didn't think the division was going to survive.
And it's a testament to you, too, because you've really been driving this division to where it's at today, and pushing not only yourself, but also the competitors, right? The competitors are getting better and better every year because you're pushing so hard and coming in with such a great package.
And that's my goal. That's my obligation as being, you know, the original champion of the men's physique division. I mean, with only under one champion who won the first time, who did absolutely nothing with this title, you know, I've done something with my titles, and I'm really trying to establish the fact of the matter that being a men's physique champion is more than just doing something on stage. You got to do something off the stage as well. You got to conduct yourself in a certain way, because we have an obligation to our fans and followers who follow the sport. It's growing. And being the person on top, you got so many people just watching you.
I like that we said, and one of the first times we met, something you said to me that really made it stand out. Another reason why I wanted to interview was that, you know, you've got like over 1.7 million followers on Instagram. One of the most followed bodybuilders, anybody in the sport. And you said that a lot of these social media influencers have this huge reach and don't do anything with it. and you wanted to make a positive difference. And you were holding a charity event with bodybuilders in sport to raise money at the YMCA, which I loved. So what does it mean to you to be a social media influencer, and how do you want to use that positively?
You know, the social media thing has crept up on me. I mean, I've been doing it for probably the past 5-6 years, and it's gotten to blow up something pretty big. But, you know, my realization for my following didn't even hit me until, you know, a few months ago. You know, I've been doing all these Olympias, competing and doing everything for myself, and, you know, I've accomplished a lot, but there's always this lack of happiness, or this lack of fulfillment, this lack of satisfaction from all these titles. And every single year I've recognized that hole, and I've known, like, I would come back from Vegas, and I'd be sitting, you know, like, I want Olympia again. I feel like there should be more. I should feel more. And I'm a spiritual man, and I believe in God, and I believe that my relationship with Him influences my feelings and my actions and everything. And, you know that I need to put God at the forefront of my life in order for me to be successful, and then for me to carry out the plan for my life the way He wants me to do it. And in order for me to feel that fulfillment, I need to do those things. And by recognizing that this past year, that the titles are great, but the actual happiness that I'm going to have is from impacting others and motivating to show other people their greatness.
Yeah. And
that's the reason why the past 6 months we've been kind of restructuring our marketing campaigns to try to push this positive message. Like you mentioned, these social media influencers that we have nowadays are, you know, they have all these people watching what they're doing, and they're not doing anything positive. You know, if we have these influencers that are talking and getting this many people to listen, and they're putting this negative BS out there, hating on people, posting dumb shit, like all these dumb rappers nowadays that are coming out, they're ruining people, you know, because they're pushing, they're showing, they're having success, they're doing dumb shit. Yeah. And that makes other people think, oh, I can do dumb shit and I can be successful too. No, they're just lucky they're doing dumb shit and becoming successful.
Yeah, it reminds me of I don't know if you heard a story. It was like a boyfriend, girlfriend. They were trying to get famous on YouTube. And it's like, a book can stop a bullet. And they actually, like, she shot him through a book and it didn't stop him. He ended up dying. And it was all for social media. I mean, that's just stupid.
Dumb stuff.
I love the idea of pushing positive message. And it's something that I think a lot of people realize when they actually attain success. That was kind of similar. It was the lack of fulfillment. You really have to cultivate fulfillment in your own life. And I found too that when you do it only for yourself, it doesn't really feel that as important as it was when you contribute to everybody else in life. And it's amazing. You know, I've won another Olympia, but you feel more fulfillment by giving back and spreading this positive message. I love how deep you got right there. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, it's cool because a lot of people don't see a lot of things. I don't put everything on social media. You know, I feel that, you know, the good things I do have to come from the heart, and I'm not doing it for likes and follows.
Totally.
And, you know, a lot of people do that. They post all these little good deeds they do, and it's nothing more than a pat on your back. And I talked to some friends because we've gone out and fed the homeless a few times, and like, oh, we're putting a camera out there. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't bring the camera out there. We don't know these people. We're going out there to help them. We're not doing this for likes on our social media or for a YouTube video. I was like, the only way I'm ever going to bring a camera out there is if we are doing this on a regular basis. These people know who we are, and they know that we're only doing this because we want to get it out there of the positivity that we are doing on a regular basis. It's not for likes and follows.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy seeing all this stuff on social media because it's fake. It's just it's heartless, and there's too much of that. And it's a reflection of what the society we're living in nowadays. And, you know, it got the best of me for a long time.
Oh, really?
You know, as far as just dealing with the social media aspect of things and being hated, and you know, it's taken a huge turn, but it also took a huge toll on me as well. I did a good job of managing it all, but a lot of people can't. A lot of people aren't strong enough to.
How do you handle people who hate on you?
I've been dealing with that's what I'm saying. Is God put me through things younger in my life to set me up for where I'm at now. I really believe that. I was always very successful growing up, always the best player on every single sports team, but for some reason I didn't have the proper social skills to interact with my peers. Almost kind of in a similar situation I am now, being kind of on a platform, having people jabbing at me now, just like I had back when I was a kid. And I managed to kind of detour those feelings and still stay on my path of success, just as I have as a professional nowadays with the social media attacks that I've had previously.
Yeah.
Everybody said that everything they could possibly say to me over the past couple of years, and there's nothing left to be said. So I'm still on the top. They have nothing left to say. Now they're quiet.
Yep. Success.
It's nice. It's nice. It's nice because I can see your smile. I can see your smile because I know some of them are watching this. You're like, I did say everything I can say about that guy, and he's still there.
And the results speak for themselves, man. Yeah. You've been putting in the work and doing a great job. Speaking of failure and success, you've been really successful. How do you define success in your life right now?
Success right now for me is constant progression. If every single day you're doing something of working towards your goal, you're not wasting time. I mean, that's my philosophy on success. And, I talked to some friends and family that have been going through some things recently and aren't necessarily where they're at a point in their life where they want to be. And I'm asking them, are you spending every hour you're awake working towards where you need to be? Or are you taking an hour break, sitting on the couch watching TV? Are you doing something on your phone that you shouldn't be doing? Are you doing something that is not getting you to where you need to be?
Yeah.
And until you are spending every minute that your eyes are awake working to where you need to be, you don't have any time to rest.
So that brings up a good point. Obviously, it takes an immense amount of discipline and structure and hard work to be able to become the #1 physique competitor in the world. How do you stay focused? How do you stay disciplined? The guys who are like, yeah, I'm struggling. I can't get off the couch, or I can't wake up early to go to the gym, or I'm tired after work to go to the gym. How do you stay focused?
It's just my desire to want to be the best, I feel. It's something that from a young age, like I said, it's just always been driven. Like, I don't want to be beat. I don't feel that anybody out there has any more, God-given abilities than I do. And I feel that the person that best applies himself is going to come out on top each and every single time. So I make sure in my preparation that I'm perfect. I don't allow, as far as what's motivating me is because I know I got the best athletes in the world doing everything in their capabilities of trying to take me out. And I don't underestimate any of those guys. So I know I gotta be on top. I gotta be on par every single day. And the thing is, I understand that year round, whereas a lot of these guys don't understand it. They're competing year round, running their bodies year round, where I don't have to. I don't have to compete once a year. I rest, I recover, get my body healthy, and when my prep starts, I'm ready to go. I'm fresh.
Nice. Let's talk a little bit about prep mode and maybe go into some exercises and what you do when you get ready for a competition. First off, your physique has obviously improved dramatically. What would you say are some of the top exercises that you do to improve just the physique?
Well, I utilize, I'm coached by Honey Rambod, 19-time Olympia creator.
The pro creator,
best coach in the world. And we can talk about him in a second, but he created the FST 7 training program. It's the fastest stretch training 7. It's the training methods I've been using the past 4 years, and we continue to add to it, continue to revolutionize it, but it's this theory and set of tools when we're training that help keep us healthy, but also really break down the fundamentals of bodybuilding is. And it's, hypertrophy, volumization, increasing pump and blood flow, because that's going to create more volume in the muscle. The more volume you create in the muscle, the more micro tears you create, and the more growth occurs. So that being said, my training philosophies in the gym are very intense. We use a lot of different training variations to increase the intensity during certain exercises, but form is everything. Mind and muscle connection, doing exercise right, and leaving your ego at the door. I train with Phil Heath, and the guy is as strong as can be, but he doesn't lift like that. We're exercising. I maybe throw one more plate on each side of everything I'm doing, but everything's just very controlled and slow and isolated. And training in bodybuilding is mental. Mind and muscle connection, mind and muscle connection. That's stretch and squeeze, stretch and squeeze. So everything I'm repeating in my head, everything I hear Hani saying to me.
Yeah. I say the same thing all the time, and I think it's that constant repetition. The FST 7 training program, we talked about that a little bit. It's actually what you do for the last 4 years. Can you go into exactly what that is and what that means? I mean, you're stretching the fascia.
Yeah. So we have different training variations. So, we use different intensity factors, what we call them, to help drive us through to failure during our sets. So if I'm doing like a bicep curl, you can do a normal bicep curl with 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. But once you start getting like 50, 60, 70 pounds, your form might go down the drain. Mm-hmm. You might start throwing a little shoulder, dipping underneath a little bit, throw a little swing in. The added weight, you might be able to curl at 40 just fine, but when you try to make that jump, extra weight might not throw your form technique off. So instead of making that jump and throwing your technique off, we're going to sit at that lighter weight and throw in some intensifiers into the exercise, like a partial rep to a full rep, partial, full, or a pause rep, hold for a second, peak contraction holds, We have something called blood starving sets, which is blood restriction sets that help optimize volumization. There's different training techniques.
How do you starve the oxygen?
So there's different methods. You've probably seen the tourniquet training where they tie off the arms. One thing is with that is when you're getting into prep mode, you can, when your skin gets that thin, you can bruise, break capillaries.
So you actually tie off your arms with the tourniquet?
I don't. I do use method because I don't like the bruising or whatnot that can occur.
That's intense, man.
So the idea behind that is when you're training the muscle, you're going to cut off the circulation to it.
Right.
So it's going to pump, and it's going to build up a lot of blood flow. When you release the tourniquet, massive blood flow is going to occur to the arm to create this massive volumization.
Wow.
So instead of us using tourniquets, our blood starving sets is we raise our arms above our head for 30 seconds in between each sets to prevent blood flow to the arms. And then we bring it back down for the exercise and bring it back up. And at the end of the 7 sets, then you let your arm rest. And you can literally watch for 2 minutes, your arm just volumize. It's crazy because you watch it literally happen in front of you.
That's intense. I've never heard that before. That's crazy.
Do your first arm workout. Do like superset curls with some tricep push downs. Do like 12 reps of each, 7 sets back to back, and keep your hands up for 30 seconds in between your sets.
So 7 sets back to back. Do you rest at all in between?
You're gonna go tricep, then bicep, then rest 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
And then tricep, bicep, arms rest 30 seconds.
Okay, fantastic. I'm definitely gonna do that. That sounds mind-blowing. And I tell you, I've been doing muscle under tension recently, and trying to do it for anything over 60 seconds is just brutal. And so anything over that 60 seconds, it literally lights my arms on fire. This sounds awesome. I want to do it. But why is volumizing, why is creating a lot of blood flow into the arms important for muscle growth?
Because it's going to stretch the fascia. The more blood flow you get in there, the more volume is created in the muscle. When the fascia is stretched, it's create micro tears. And those micro tears are what needs to be repaired. So after you go home, your protein, your amino acids, the carbs in you, that's going to shuttle those new proteins into the muscle, which repair those fascia, which is going to create a bigger, stronger muscle when it rebuilds.
Perfect. I love that explanation. I'm looking for 22s. Oh, man. So, specifically for physique, with it's all about that taper, that V taper in the back, wide shoulders, small waist. What's one of your favorite exercises that you do to help really build the V taper?
Yeah, well, lateral raises obviously get the shoulders capped out. You got to build wide shoulders to even emphasize a smaller waist. So that, along with wide grip lat pull downs to help build the width of the lats. A lot of people don't understand is lower back thickness is also important, but keeping the waist tight. When they're judging from the back, they want to see the separation they call the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So the lower lats separating. And that also has to do with your spinal erectors as well. And a lot of people neglect that training or don't even know how to activate their lower lats. That's why a lot of people lack in those areas. A lot of people don't train glutes. A lot of guys don't train their legs. And the glutes tie into your erectors, which is going to create more depth to your lower back, which is going to create more volume to your lower lats. And people understand bodybuilding is a sport of illusions. So if your glutes are more round and more developed, it's going to create more depth from where your lower back is. So it's going to look like a thicker lat hanging out because of the volume.
Interesting.
So it's all depth perceptions too, how you position yourself on posing, understanding the judges are below you, understanding who's standing next beside you. If a guy's 20 pounds heavier than me, I'm going to screw up about 2 or 3 inches because that extra 2 or 3 inches is going to give me 10 pounds to the judges.
Because the depth perception. Interesting.
If I'm still on the outside of the stage, I'm going to make sure I'm angled to the center judge. That way they can see my full body. A lot of these competitors don't know that, but they're on the outside of the call out. The center judge is the most important judge, but if they're not angling up to them, they can only see half their physique.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay on the outside. So you got to angle your body back in, get your attention and the recognition you deserve, and that's how you get battered way back to the center stage.
Awesome. Cool. I'm taking notes, mental notes, because I'm going to be jumping into a competition actually. So I did a competition 4 years ago. Like I said, the Grand Prix, John Lindsay competition. That was my first competition ever.
That was my last amateur one.
It was your last amateur?
My last amateur overall.
Oh, no way. Nice. Well, I got first in the novice one, which was good because I jumped in there. I didn't really have a coach. I got a posing coach like a week before. Super helpful because I didn't realize how important posing was. I didn't even know that we'd be doing posing. I didn't plan for this. It was kind of just like a last minute decision. But I fell in love with the sport, really enjoyed it, and continued on, like I said, till I got the skin cancer. And now I'm going back to the same one. I'm going to be doing the Grand Prix again. And so I'm just thinking about, all right, when I'm on stage, make sure I pose towards the center, so that way if I'm off to the side, and thinking about that depth perception, because a lot of those guys they're very big now, but like you said, conditioning. So as you're getting ready for a contest prep, what kind of conditioning goes in for, like, let's talk about things like cardio before we get into any of the diet stuff. I mean, people want to know what's your diet plan, but cardio and do you start, how many weeks out do you start? What's your favorite time to do it?
I do my cardio in my off season to help regulate my metabolism. So I keep cardio in so I can eat more food. And more food you're eating, the more you're going to grow. So my diet and my cardio work in verse with each other.
Okay.
So, if I'm trying to gain, I'm either going to up my food and decrease my cardio, or vice versa if I'm trying to cut. So, cardio we use as a tool to manipulate our diet. And as I get closer to Olympia, I'll probably start up 20 minutes off season. When I get into prep, 30 minutes fasted cardio. Always do my cardio fasted or post workout. They'll have my glycogen storage are low, tapping into body fat, not burning anything else.
Specifically, not burning your muscle, right? Like,
or stored muscle glycogen.
Okay.
You got to do it when you're depleted. If you go to eat a bunch of carbs and go do cardio, you're going to burn those carbs off. You're not burning body fat.
Right.
So you got to make sure your body's glycogen storage are depleted. And the only time they're depleted is fast in the morning when you wake up, or they're almost depleted after workout, given you trained hard enough.
And so having like dinner and then going to do cardio.
It's unless you're not doing any carbs. I mean.
Right.
If you're doing carbs, you're going to burn. The carbs are your immediate energy source. So if you put carbs in your body, that's the first thing your body's going to burn, not the fat.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. How much cardio do you do?
20 in the off season, 30 to begin my prep. I max up at 45 in the morning. And once I max it out, then I go to post workout cardio. I'll try to go 20 there. The highest I ever done was a 45 and 45 split. Last year I did 45-30 split. Wow. And as we adjust my diet, as we get closer, we increase more cardio to make sure I get to keep my food high.
Yeah. So, okay. When we first talked about doing this interview, it was, I wasn't planning on doing the competition, but now I'm 10 weeks out. So I'm wondering, should I be doing cardio every day right now? Should I be every day?
Every day.
Oh, well, I guess I got to change.
Cardio every day. I mean, unless your weight's dropping like crazy, then I'll start increasing your food back up while you're doing your cardio. You want to find that sweet spot where, you want to get lean enough to a point where your body looks good, and then you're dropping like 1.5, 2 pounds a week. But if you're still got a lot of body fat on you, get it off first and then start tapering down slowly.
Gotcha. So 30 minutes, 45 minutes fasted cardio in the morning, and then increase my actual, the food that I eat.
Just based off the weight reflection, I would, like, for instance, if you're going to do 30, 45 minutes cardio based on your current diet, right now at this point, you're going to drop probably 1.5, 2 pounds a week, 3 pounds maybe max to try to get your body fat lower. Test where you're at right now with 45 minutes cardio, you're given diet. If your weight doesn't drop where it needs to be, then you need to add cardio or cut your carbs down a little bit.
Yeah.
If your weight drops significantly, you need to jack your food way up. Keep your cardio where it's at, but jump the food up.
Gotcha.
That way your body's still going to grow because there's more nutrients in it, but you're still metabolism still revved up really, really high.
Super cool. Noted. So every day.
I do cardio every day. I don't take days off, man.
That's awesome.
I'll take a day off from the gym, but I'll still do my cardio and abs.
Okay. Yeah. What's your workout split look like?
5-day split. So chest, back, shoulders, legs, arms.
Okay.
Whatever order I feel. I just don't train. You don't want to train like arms before chest. You don't want to train biceps before back. You don't want to train, back before shoulders. I don't like doing back before legs or legs before back.
Right.
So you got to make sure you're doing a certain workout split so your certain secondary muscles aren't exhausted or sore for the previous day. Like, I've been training back. It's going to be hard as hell for me to do squats the next day. Totally. So I have lower backs to be fried from rows,
Oh, yeah.
So you got to schedule, be strategic with how you're scheduling your workout split off.
So you take about 2 days off?
1 to 2.
1 to 2 weeks?
Sometimes like one every 2 weeks. It just depends on how I'm feeling. When I'm in prep mode, I recover really fast. When I'm eating, my diet's on point, supplements are on point, so my recovery time is a lot shorter. And let's say now where I'm not really in shape, I hit legs on Monday, I'm still sore. It's Friday. I could barely sleep last night. My legs were just throbbing. My DOM, delayed onset muscle soreness this time around was. I've been training 8 weeks, so I went back in there and I had one of my top athletes, and he's been training like a girl the last few weeks since I've been hurt. So I called him out. I was like, "Hey, you're training legs with me.
Wow.
Coach, 8 weeks off and come and kick your ass." Sure as hell.
So
it's paying for it 5 days later.
Dude, I tell you, man, legs is always the most brutal workout for me, and
test
2
your
days
manhood.
later.
Test your
Oh my
manhood. Every time
God.
you go in there to battle. I just wrote my last ebook was my 12-week guide to building legendary legs. It's a 12-week
Nice.
program I have on my website. You know, that was one of the things I talked about was, you know, leg training is something I used to hate because it sucked. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
it's real
hard. You're gonna feel sick. You know, you're gonna feel dead when you leave the gym. But you gotta learn to embrace that. You know, it's like you're going to battle. You know, us as men, we gotta go in there. We gotta fight.
Yeah.
So we aren't getting in the cage to fight. We're going to the gym and fighting. So
I like that.
that's my mentality. I just kind of go in there with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I go to train legs.
You know, biggest thing for me was I was like looking at guys that had chicken legs, and I had this fear of having chicken legs. I was like, I can't have chicken legs. So I was always training legs. And then as I got older, I realized that it's actually really important to train your legs too, because it increases the amount of growth hormone, testosterone that flows through your body because you're stressing your body so much more.
Large percentage of the body too.
I'm also all about symmetry. I love being symmetrical. I don't want to be top heavy and fall over. I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were injured recently, and that's kind of like a little bit of setback. What happened?
Yeah, so I had my charity event after Olympia in October. We were doing a fundraiser, and we had a bench press competition and deadlift charity event, and every pound lifted by me, I got $1 raised, and you know, I was running around coordinating the event all day long. I wasn't really taking care of myself, wasn't hydrating, wasn't eating, and the end of the day was rolling around. I hadn't got my bench press done yet, so middle of running the event, ran over 315 warm up, good, 365 warm up, good, 405 warm up, snap. Warm up. I was on my max. It was 405 warm up. I came down, right out of the hole. I felt this like, pop, pop, pop. And I kept it cool. I was like, yanked it off me. I'm like, oh shit. And I looked over and started bruising. I'm like, oh no.
Start bruising that fast.
Yeah, I started bruising right away. I knew, but I just took my head out of it, kept running the event, and then I shook it off for a few weeks, told myself it wasn't a tear. And sure enough, you know, it started healing on its own. And I noticed it kind of had a small bump in them somewhere. I was like, that's not right. I was like, hopefully some tissue therapy will get it out. So I was training, going back in the gym. I was still strong as hell. I was shoulder pressing the 130s, like no problem.
Whoa.
And then I'd hit leg day. I was feeling like a beast in the gym. Threw 12 plates on each side leg press. 8th rep out of the hole. Threw my quad, pop. My quad just ruptures. This is like 7-8 weeks ago. And worst pain of my life, way worse than my pec. I mean, I had a single leg press because of adrenaline, 12 plates off of my leg press. And I got it up, racked it, and I was screaming pain agony. I had the whole team there. And my buddy Horacio threw me over his shoulder and ran me to the cryotherapy next door, froze my leg, and took me to the hospital. But when I got my MRI back from that, when I got my MRI for this, I said, hey, look at my chest too. Doctor's like, that doesn't look good. Quad, I'm not too concerned about. You're just in a lot of pain right now. MRI for the quad came back fine. It was a slight tear, already healed, but this was a really severe tear.
Wow.
But the pain wasn't that bad. It never hurt that bad. So I dismissed it.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he's like, it's a really bad tear. I don't even want to operate on this. I got to forward you to a specialist. I'm like, oh shit. So I was like, how bad is it? He's like, it's pretty bad. Like, you got to get this done correctly. Otherwise, it's not going to look the same. You're not going to do anything. Because your muscle and tendon is separated from the bone. So the chest is a hard place to MRI because you're breathing all the time, so the MRI doesn't come out too clear. So they weren't exactly sure. They knew it was bad. They know how bad it was. So they referred me to Dr. Itamura, who's the Los Angeles primary physician, the Dodgers.
Oh, for the Dodgers. Wow.
So he does all the rotator cuff for all MLB players. So this guy walked in, a little swag in his step. I knew he was good. So he walked in, looked at me, he's like, all right, yeah. He goes, I don't really know what's going on. Let me get in there and figure it out. So he got in. I woke up out of anesthesia. He standing over me. He shook his head. He's like, got that sucker back in place. So I had my checkup on Monday. Everything seems to be real sturdy, real strong, except for the skin graft is what they had to use to get it reattached. And there's a lot of scar tissue and some inflammation still. So when I contract, there's a little bit of bump. And I'm concerned with that right now. They're saying with physical therapy and tissue therapy that it should flatten out. We just don't know how flat it's going to get. Fortunately, men's physique, I'm not posing on stage. I don't have to flex. So when I'm resting, you don't see that bump that I see right now. So hopefully, when I'm training, it'll flatten out a little bit. But when I'm on stage, you won't be able to notice it at all.
Right.
But I love my training footage. There's nothing like seeing me hit some chest flies. And it breaks my heart to know that my chest flies aren't ever look the same because that was like my signature. So.
Man, that's a tough injury.
It sucks because my coach has been warning me I don't flat bench press. It's the most dangerous exercise. I know better. I know better. My coach has been telling me for 5 years, don't bench, don't bench, don't bench. She even told me before I went to my charity event, do your deadlift, don't bench press. I said, I already got money raised for, I'm going to do it. I said, all right, don't get hurt.
Dang. Yeah.
I told him, like, you jinxed me, dude. It's your fault.
Oh, man.
Like, don't blame it. Don't put this on me.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
So, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, it sucks. It really does suck. And, you know, but at the same time, like, I feel like if I were done, I feel like I would have a better intuition of knowing this was done. And I don't. I got to where I was going to have the surgery. I said to myself, all right, I'm going to have the surgery. I had this many months to recover. This is how much time I need to get ready for Olympia. And I was already game planning. So people saying I'm done, like, they're thinking that I'm not. And, you know, no one's going to tell me what I believe. And everything I set my mind to do, I do. I follow through with everything. So my mentality is I'm competing this year. I'm winning again this year. And this is just God's way of giving me an opportunity to show everybody how great I really am to come back to something like this.
Wow, that's an awesome belief that you have about that. I was going to ask, you know, how are you doing kind of mentally right now? You know, anytime somebody gets injured in the gym, it's not so much that like the weighting, it's the mental game that it plays on you where you can't go to the gym, you can't work out. So how did you deal with it, like right when it happened mentally, you know, being tied up on the shoulder? It sounds like you just believe that, you know, this is a test and you're going to come back even stronger.
Yeah, you know, and that's the fact. It is a test to me. And, you know, I've proven over the years my mentality and my work ethic and, you know, the people that know me and the people in the industry know I'm not done. And that's what's just fun because, like, you know, the people that do know, they know. And I can kind of sit back and laugh when the people are doubting me because they doubt me all the time. It's just like, this is the other opportunity for me to prove all you haters wrong each and every single year. Nice. So my mentality right now is I'm kind of just laughing it off, you know, because it is serious injury, but at the same time, you know, I'm actually putting out a YouTube video this coming week showing people what I look like right now. Like, who does that? I mean, I'm Mr. Olympia. I look like complete garbage right now. They're terrible. I'm 190 pounds. I've been eating McDonald's. I haven't trained in 8 weeks. It is what it is, you know, but the fact of the matter, I know my capabilities. And that's what I tell people is I've looked worse than this from the start point. Last year I had surgery too on something else. And my start point was 15 pounds less and fatter.
Wow.
So I'm a lot better shape I am right now than I was beforehand. And I still managed to look my absolute best last year. So that's why I'm kind of smirking is like, you know, my start point's even better than I was last year. So I don't really have much to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, as long as this thing comes back and I'm able to train on it, you know, the title's mine. I'm going to walk away on top.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So speaking of gaining mass back, what are some ways to really put on size very quickly that you've done? I know you talked about you kind of been going like 7 pounds a year.
Yeah.
But how do you build mass?
Well, honestly, muscle memory is a real thing. So my body's going to bounce back real quick. Considering my diet's been completely terrible, I know once I get my diet back on track, my body's going to respond like
nice.
Incredibly. You know, my body's got a lot of rest right now. I haven't been training, so the matter of the rest and the shock to my body is going to be explosive. And the fact that I haven't lost that much size makes it even more exciting. Yeah. I'm 190, 194 right now, and I haven't worked out. So
in 8 weeks?
In 8 weeks. I mean,
wow.
I got down to 185 and back up to 194.
What do you usually sit at in the off season?
200.
200?
Not far off. You know, obviously my body composition isn't what it could be at 200 pounds, but, you know, I'm thinking 210 this off season, you know, once I get back in the swing of things.
So you've been gaining muscle mass every single year. How are you incorporating that? How are you building? Like, what's the secret to building muscle mass?
It's just been the time. It's my training techniques and philosophies have improved, but it's still kind of been the same. We've just been adding a little more into it, but it's the training intensity. You know, as I'm getting older, I'm getting stronger, and my intensity is still there. So the muscle maturity is just taking place, and I attribute a lot to my intensity that I'm training. A lot of guys, you know, you watch any of my training videos, you don't see anything else anything out there like it.
Dude, your veins, I mean, probably close to competition, but your veins are just popping out all over when you
flex. It happens 7, 8 weeks size, so I get really vascular. But, you know, that's just kind of what I had to establish. And it was the intensity. And, you know, it's been recognized, you know, across the industry. You know, I had some of the coaches from the other teams come up to me like, hey, you're intimidating my guys in the gym because they're going to train your gym. And they come back to train at my facility and they know they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing in there because they see it watch you. They watch you.
Man, I always had the philosophy, you got to leave everything you got in the gym. I bet you're the same way. And did that start when you started training with your coach now? And how's it been working with him? I mean, he's the pro creator.
Yeah, he's given me the gym IQ that I've needed. Inside the gym, he's a genius. Outside the gym, he's a genius. The guy's a well-rounded man. I love him to death. He's family to me now for the last 6 years. But as far as the training aspect goes, he just thoroughly understands the body. He understands how to keep it healthy. He understands how it responds and how it reacts. And he's just been doing it for so long that the nutrition is second nature to him.
Yeah.
So how exactly to do anything to me.
So speaking of nutrition, recovery, what kind of supplements do you take? What's your recovery look like? I know you said cryotherapy for your leg real quick when you got injured, but what's your average day look like for recovery?
Well, I mean, obviously the supplementing is going to be very important. It's going to help accelerate the process of anything. I've been with Evogen since the very beginning of my career. I've been taking Evogen since I was 17.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's funny to say because I was a customer buying this stuff off the shelf, and now here I am. 2008 was my first time I bought Evogen. So 9 years later, I'm at the top of the company.
Wow,
it's cool to see. But I trust Evogen just based on the fact of Hani Rambod and the reason behind Evogen. Evogen wasn't created to be a supplement company. He was a trainer who was also a biochemist, a graduate from UC Santa Barbara, that understood that supplement companies took a lot of shortcuts. And with him training Olympian athletes, he needed to make sure his clients weren't taking these supplements that were being sold. He needed to make his own. So he had access to the raw materials. He started creating his own supplements. The first one was EVP, which is a non-stimulated pre-workout, which everybody told me was crazy for. Who's going to buy a pre-workout with no caffeine in it? No one's going to buy it. Well, it's about education. Caffeine and stimulants, they don't do anything for you except for give you a mental high. Mm-hmm. Those aren't what is going to help you in the gym. The things that help in the gym are going to be the pump factors, the creatine, the arginine, the agmatine. Those are the things that are going to increase blood flow. And that's what you want when you're training. That's what pre-workout purpose is. So you're throwing a bunch of stimulants like a lot of these pre-workouts have.
Yeah.
They're jacking you up here, but they're decreasing your blood flow, killing your pump. So he created EVP, which is all pump. Now he's created EVP Plus, EVP Extreme, which he's trickled in some stimulants and stuff like that to get you going. But originally, Evogen wasn't Evogen. It was just Hani making products. And the word got around about his products. People started asking for them. And that's when he slapped a label on it. And that's how Evogen came about. It was about producing winners. It wasn't about making a buck.
Gotcha.
And that's something that he's just stuck to this whole time. That's why Evogen, after 10 years, is just now starting to crack the surface. We only had like 5 products the first couple of years. Now we have finally a full line. But it's because he's taking the time and been strategic with every single raw ingredient and making sure he's putting quality in there. Because most of the products he's come out with have been designed for me in my preparations. To be like, hey, Hani, I need some of this, I need some of that. This fat burning made me, I don't feel it when I'm doing cardio, I feel it after cardio. That's why I came out with Liposite IR, which is an instant release powdered fat burner that he introduced 2 years ago in my prep, because I was telling him I was taking these fat burners, but I do my cardio, I'm dragging ass, and all of a sudden in the cardio, I'm jacked. I need it ASAP. So he created this new fat burner, and they all told me he was crazy for doing it. It's our bestseller.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So it's a quick release powder.
Yeah.
So
no crash, good thermogenic. It's awesome. Good mental stimulation.
What do you take that like 15 minutes before you?
Yeah, take it, get up in the morning, take it, drive to the gym, do my cardio, flies by.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the fat burners will be in pill form, and so it just takes time to metabolize. Yeah. It makes sense. So, and you use exclusively that you just use Evogen?
I just use Evogen. There's no point to really use anything else.
Yeah.
And we have all the products we need. We know it's the best of the best. And it's got me 4 Olympic titles.
Yeah, for sure. Can't argue with those results. Is there anything you take at night or recovery? I know a lot of people might want to put some BCAAs or glutamine.
Yeah, I use AminoJect, which is our BCA glutamine blend. It's our recovery blend from Evogen. Amazing product. Our flavor systems are second to none. We got Cali Time Tea, which tastes like a peach Snapple. Nice. Incredible. This is a blue raspberry I'm sipping on right now. That along with Evo Greens, we just came out with our first greens product, all natural greens product.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually awesome. If you ever look at back greens products, they got like 100 different ingredients in it, and they're all microdose. So they don't really do anything because there's such a little dosage. That's how they're cutting costs on corners to make it look like there's more. We only have 12 ingredients in our Evo Greens with 2 full grams of spirulina, which is very expensive. We put 2 quality ingredients in there. And we also have a pomegranate extract in there, which helps inflammation.
Oh.
So obviously the spirulina helps with antioxidants within your body. When you're training, your body puts a lot of toxins. You want to get rid of those so your body's can repair a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people aren't getting their fruits and veggies in. We're trying to build life from inside out. A lot of people don't do that. They're just carbs, protein, carbs, protein. Bodybuilders don't think about that because they're only concerned with what they look like from the outside, but yet they're, if they look like if their outside looked like their inside, they wouldn't be very impressive.
Right.
So it's about building body from the inside out and making sure you stay healthy.
I like that overall health look. It's not just about looking good, but actually feeling healthy and make sure the insides are healthy as well.
Man, our life comes first, man. And not to sacrifice that to look good it's a shame.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're getting closer to those competition days, what does the 2 weeks out look like for you? How's everything?
It's real intense. I go into a whole different mindset. I'm kind of in my own little world, and people actually notice it. They're like, Jeremy's in competition mode. He's just different. Especially when I get into Vegas. Once I breathe that Vegas air, it's game time. I feel like I'm in the Gladiator. We're getting ready to walk in the Coliseum, man. It's just like, I'm just ready to go. Very intense.
Do you keep your workouts? Yeah, do you keep your workouts really?
My workouts are the same high intensity until about a week out. That's when I switch up to some, I short about 30, 40 minutes. Just going for a quick pump. Don't want to get exhausted muscle. Don't want to get it sore. You want to keep the muscle full. If you train the muscle too hard, it'll flatten out the next few days. So just go a quick little pump, get blood flow, get out. That way the muscle stays nice and full.
Right. We talked a little bit about carb depleting. What's your typical diet look like, when you're training, and then when you go into those last 2 weeks to carb deplete?
Yeah, it's tough because every year's gonna be different. Your body changes, and that's what you get from being a more experienced bodybuilder. You start understanding how to adjust to the body's roles of how you want to word it. Sometimes every single Olympia has been different in how I've done my peak week. This past time I carved up like crazy. Because I want to be as full as possible on stage. The previous years, I felt like I'm in condition, but I wasn't as full or as big as I could have been.
You were huge
this year. I was huge, but I also took in, Wednesday I took in 300 grams of carbs. Thursday I took in 500. Friday I took in like 800.
Whoa.
I mean, honey, I was the night before Olympia. He called me after filming off stage on Friday because he had prejudging. He came home. I was already in bed, asleep. He came over, knocked on my door at 1 o'clock. He said, pose for me. I was posing. He's like, you look good, but your back's still holding some water. You hasn't pushed it all out yet. He goes, you need to eat some more. I'm like, dude, I haven't gone to the bathroom. Because you can't go when you're dehydrated, you eat all this food.
Water's soaking up.
My stomach was out to here, but my back was so watery. So he's like, all right, I need you to eat 1 cup of rice. I want you to do an 8-ounce potato, 4 ounces of steak, and half an avocado, and I want to put ketchup all over it. I was like, I can't eat all that. This plate of food was like this. And it's like 1:30 in the morning, the night before Olympia. I'm just like, I was eating, shoveling food down. I was so full. My stomach was out to here. I was like, how am I going to looking like I'm pregnant right now, dude? He's like, we use something called dieters tea, which helps you go to the bathroom. I drank a little bit of that. And then the next morning, let it all go. The stomach over here just shrunk back up, and I was nice and full, and I was on the money.
Wow.
But I mean, it's just, those are the adjustments, those are things that I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have woke up and like, hey, let me see your back, or a whole little water right there, a little flat.
Eat 100 grams of carbs.
Eat 150 grams of carbs in one sitting.
Oh my God.
And then I ate that and then go to bed and I wake up, I'm on the money.
That's amazing.
And that's inversely reflected in my water too. It just depends. If you cut your water too soon, you flatten out.
Yeah.
If you pull your water too soon, your body won't absorb the carbs. If you cut your sodium too soon, your body won't be able to fill out.
And there's an exact science to this. Over the years, you've kind of perfected it.
Yeah.
When you say pull water,
you water load at the beginning, 2 weeks out, you start water loading. You get as much water in your body as possible. That way your blood's hydrated, your muscles are hydrated. You're probably gonna hold a little in the skin. Because when you start depleting, there's a water hierarchy. The water you drink, the water subcutaneous, the water in the muscle, water in the blood. So every time your body needs a source of water, that's the way it's going to pull from.
Right.
You can't pull the water from the muscle the water from the muscle, because it's really hard to get that water back in. So you dehydrate too soon, and you start dehydrating the muscle. The carb won't absorb in the muscle to fill it up. So then that causes what we call spilling over. The carb will sit on top, underneath the skin. The water will sit right on top of the muscle, creating a watery flat look.
So you're not as shredded.
You're not as shredded. You're not as full because the water couldn't get shoveled into the muscle.
Interesting.
So it sits right on top of it, and it sits right at the skin.
Wow. And so the day of the competition, you walk in, you're nice and full. Is there anything you do?
I usually have like one big meal in the morning, like at 6 a.m. Then I go
just carbs?
No, I'll do like 3 or 4 ounces of like red meat. And I'll do like probably like 8 ounces of carbs, depending on how full I am. If I'm still flat, then I'll eat like 12. If I'm on the money, maybe like 6 and a couple rice cakes, keep the carbs a little drier.
Yeah.
No water at all. Maybe I'll do another 3 ounces of fish and then more carbs, and then I'll just munch on rice cakes and peanut butter or almond butter.
Rice cakes and almond butter.
Rice cakes and almond butter.
Okay, cool.
Ate probably like eight of those before I went on stage, and then that was about it, man. Other guys are slamming candy backstage. The thing is, if you slam candy backstage, you haven't eaten candy in a while, you're gonna spike your insulin levels real quick, and your bodies are sweating. If you're sweating on stage, your tan's gonna run. If your tan runs, you're screwed. My tan ran on me when I was up there the first time, and I was rubbing it in. I think it was this year or the year before. I remember I think it was the year before. I think it was 2016. My tan just fell off me.
Really?
I was so nervous. I know if that happens, you're screwed. So I'm up there in our initial posing round, getting compared, and I'm just running. And I see Hani's face. He's like, rub it in. So I'm sitting there rubbing it in, and they finally call us off. And I ran over and grabbed a towel, and I'm wiping myself off. But it takes your shine off you. It kind of takes your tan off you. So I'm blotting. Hoping it doesn't look terrible. I go back up there, and I was able to hold on. But it was a scary moment seeing that tan just melting off of me.
Man, these judges are harsh. It is all about the look. And so no sugar before at all.
It depends on the person. I mean, simple sugars can work if you're flat. If you need an immediate boost, the idea is to already be on the money before getting on stage.
Yeah.
All these guys trying to slam sugars because they can't get a pump. Like, I need instant sugar so I get a pump, look full on stage. Well, you didn't carb up correctly because you're not full. Right. So that's why you're trying to get into simple sugars to try to get that immediate insulin spike to get you fuller.
Yeah.
But you might get full for that little 5-10 minutes, and it's gonna dump, and you're gonna start sweating, and you're gonna flatten out.
Dang.
So
the science behind this is so perfected. When you're backstage pumping up, what do you focus on? Like, what do you guys?
I don't pump up very much.
Oh.
Because I'm a pretty round guy. So when I pump up, I get really vascular. So I do a couple push-ups, maybe a couple lateral raises, a couple band squeezes, a couple flexes, and I'm good.
Wow. Okay.
Guys are backstage pumping up for 20, 30 minutes. And it's funny because some guys are pumping up like an hour out. I'm like, dude, you're going to flatten out before you even go on stage. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I let them do their thing. Yeah, go pump up, bro. That's fine. Do your thing.
Nice. I've been definitely watching what the champ does because that is going to be telling me what I should be doing.
Yeah, I just sit back and I have all my clothes on, just waiting. I'm the last guy. I have like an hour. From the show starts, I have like an hour to wait.
Wow.
I just wait. And like the last 10 guys, I take my clothes off, get oiled up, and pump up for like 2 minutes, then go on stage.
Man, that's really cool. So I want to get into a little bit, after you won these 4 Olympias, you've been getting into some different things going on for yourself. You got Team Buendia Fitness, through your website, a lot of ebooks, and the Hera X Hero clothing, which you're rocking right now. Well, tell me a little bit about this company. Yeah,
so I mean, after competing for all these years, I was relying on sponsors, man. Like that's how I made my money. And with that being said, that can all be taken away in the blink of an eye. And it had happened to me. Going to my second Olympia, one of my main sponsors at the time, probably racked in more than 50% of my income, decided to drop me 4 weeks out for no given reason.
Whoa.
So 4 weeks out from Olympia, salary cutting 60%, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Got Olympia coming up, got bills to pay. It's like, man, this is a really bad spot.
Yeah.
And I've always been a person that has been hungry, motivated, productive, and I did notice that for like a year or so, I was just living off my sponsorship checks, going to the gym, coming home, relaxing, and not really doing what Jeremy Buendia does. And after that happened, it lit a fire up me. I was like, I can't rely on anybody. I got to make sure I'm doing something on my own, and that showed me that, after my competitive career, if I don't get anything established, I don't even fall flat on my face. So it motivated me to do something. And, the first thing was trying to get a good marketing team behind me and a website to help promote my brand. And we did that, and we did an amazing job getting a membership website up. We got, we started doing ebooks last year, which, I'm a brainiac a little bit. I was used to doing this. I like to write. And it was fun because I got to get back in front of the computer and start sharing my knowledge and writing. And it's fun because I write all my ebooks myself. I do everything, all the way down to the grammar.
Awesome.
All they do is make it look pretty for me. But all that knowledge in there is me behind the computer, writing out my 15 years of experience for my family and followers. And, it was really nice to see that how successful those were for me this year, that people really took the knowledge and the results that I got from the ebooks. It's incredible. I mean, I probably have almost close to 1,000 transformation pictures from my Shred of the Buendia ebook.
Wow.
I sold over 5,000 copies of it. So
wow.
Incredible. My marketing team did an incredible job doing that. And then, we're just continuing to build on that. And as far as Team Buendia goes, we just switched to Team Hero, or Team Hero now. I coached before at all this. Before I was Mr. Olympia, I had a team of athletes up in Sacramento called Fit Body Fusion, which is a team that's still running nowadays. I helped start it. And I had about 100 athletes I coached when I was like 21 years old for these competitions. And, it did well. And I kind of stepped away because there's a lot to handle. And, with my schedule, I can't do it all by myself. So I've been training athletes the last few years on a smaller scale, but working a lot closer to them. So I've had these athletes now that I've been working with that know my philosophies and training techniques inside and out. And I'm the first one to really do this on my level, bringing a team out with being transparent enough to let everybody know in the world that I'm not doing the coaching directly. I got a team of coaches that are overseen by me, who know my stuff because they've grown up underneath me in the sport, that know exactly what I'm doing. And they have been coaching my athletes with me, and the results that they've seen from my transformations have been from the coaching of my staff.
Cool.
So we have been building this up, and now that I brought them to the public eye and letting the world know, hey, this is Team Buendia. I'm not writing your diets. I'm not lying to you about it. I'm here. You can talk to me. You have access to me, but these are your designated coaches who are checking with your diet each week. Now I have 3 coaches that are running diets, and it's not just me. Now I'm able to handle a lot more people. And it's authentic. It's real. I'm not lying to anybody. I'm not taking anybody's money.
Yeah.
And it's because we're transparent about it. They know they're talking to Coach Dave. They're talking to Coach Rossio. They see Coach Dave. They see Coach Rossio. They see Coach Chris. Yeah. They see all of them. And it's growing fast. We have a facility here at Huntington Beach where we train our clients in person. We have had 40 athletes in the past 3 weeks.
Nice.
And it's growing really nicely. And we're that's one of the big things I've been focusing on. And the biggest thing for that is that my ability to help the people that are working for me. I'm able to create a job for them to provide for their families, which is awesome.
Nice,
every single one of them work full time for me, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm able to work with people of all ages. I have guys in the gym that are in their 50s. I got guys that have lost over 200 pounds. I have women in their 50s. I have women in their 40s. I got teenagers. And I'm able to not only help them in the gym, especially younger guys that really look up to me for guidance. I have athletes that are out of state that I've been working with. I got a couple of guys in Texas, one in Tampa, and I have one that lives in Bakersfield. And these guys are all 18, 19, 20 years old, and they're trying to figure out how to make it in fitness. Yeah. So I mentor them. I tell them, I coach them for their shows. They pay me a small fee because I don't do anything for free. They need to know that in life. Nothing's free. Make them pay something that's affordable for them. I help them with their finances a little bit as far as giving them direction of how their money needs to be spent, what they need to be doing. I line these guys up for my team to find a place out here. They're moving out here in a few months together, all be living together, training to me. They're going to be doing their own social media content together, and they all got part-time jobs around here. So they're all going to be able to pay their bills. They all got part-time work. They're going to be able to see me daily, and they're going to be able to go around the brand and help themselves grow. But that's the type of stuff that it's not on social media that nobody knows about, that I'm mentoring these younger kids. And, it's not just Mr. Olympia where you don't feel like I'm not going to talk to you. Like, I have them in my phone texting me. Like, I care about these guys.
That's awesome.
And it's fun because it's growing, and, the message I'm spreading amongst these other athletes and my coaches is they're taking leadership roles. Yeah. And I enforce that with my athletes. Every time they put on a hero shirt, they are representing something, and it's a reminder to them of the type of person they need to conduct themselves to be in society. You can't walk around with a shirt on and be an asshole.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And that's what I'm instilling in these guys. I demand respect from them. I have older women in my gym. I had one of my kids yesterday saying something inappropriate. I'm like, hey, you say that from your mom? Because she's sitting right there. Like, no, I'm sorry. It's just that's the type of stuff that needs to be pushed, and they listen to me. Coming from a guy who's not, they might not listen to somebody that not be who I am. I know that I have an ability to get to these kids because they think I'm cool. They think all this,
Yeah, you're the champ.
It's coming from somebody that they look up to, not just some, hey, you need to be a good kid. You know what I'm talking about? It's different. It impacts them more because they listen.
That's so incredibly important you know, and I always say people should be a leader. If you have that ability to be a leader, you should be a leader, because the world definitely needs more leaders. Taking that and this big push in giving back and contributing and helping people grow. I love it, and I fully support it.
Yeah, and that's why I partnered up with my best friend Chad and his girl Sandra. Sandra's a fitness model from Amsterdam. She's got like 4 million followers on social media. Uh-huh. She's a designer of our brand, Hair X Hero. And you know, we knew that we had something that she's created another massive clothing line in Europe that she no longer is part of. But we know that she had the capabilities. My business partner Chad is a business genius, and myself with my capabilities and my reach. We have proven sales of past company I worked for, so we just knew it'd be a good concept. Yeah. But I told them that there's too many clothing brands out there. This can't be just a clothing brand. It's got to be something much greater. And it's the message that we're trying to push and the influence that we have. And that's what everybody's starting to grasp on, is that this logo it's not just a clothing brand, it's a message. Yeah. And that's what's gotten so much hype. I mean, the amount of support that this company has had in 10 weeks is absolutely insane. I mean, we've had people that are working for us that work with other big companies, and we're shutting down their numbers that they've ever done the first year. So awesome. It's blowing up, and the great thing is it's the message that people are getting. It's no matter who you are, what you do, or where you come from, there's a hero in everybody. It's how you're impacting the person next to you, and that's the message of what being a hero is. You don't got to have a cape. You don't got to be Mr. Olympia. You know, it's about reaching out to that person across from you and making some sort of impact in their life. And that's what a hero is, somebody that does something for somebody else.
Man, I love how deep you get in this interview, and I really appreciate it.
So it's the message, man. This is what God has told me to do after my Olympia. And that's what, you know, my duty is. And it's more clear than ever because of how I see everybody around me responding to it. Yeah. And it makes me excited. It gives me purpose when I wake up in the morning.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. And I think that is, you know, stepping up, being a leader is something that everybody can take as an action to take home. You know, at Unleash Success, we're all about taking action. And so before I ask the final question, just, you know, what's one action today that we could take that would be, you know, like the best thing that we could do to, and let's focus on physique. Definitely leadership. I love that. I'm fully supportive of that. You spoke to that so much. So if I'm going into the gym, you know, what's like one exercise that I should really focus on? What's your favorite?
I mean, myself personally is going to be like a dumbbell lateral raise. That's my favorite exercise. It's a very most people don't understand how technical the exercise it is because there's a lot of different biomechanics that go into doing a correct lateral raise to actually trigger the deltoid. A lot of people don't understand the body positioning of engaging your lats to minimize trap activation. So a lot of time when you're doing a lateral raise, typically people are leading with the trap. It's an up and down motion. They don't realize that they're doing up and down motion with the trap, when the lateral raise is more of a pendulum motion, which you need to reach out to stimulate the deltoid. So if you engage your lats while you're doing your lateral raise, it's going to deactivate the trap, engage the deltoid, and it's going to really stimulate and round out that shoulder cap. So that's an exercise that I like to do because it hasn't been done correctly. And when it is done correctly, it's very, very effective.
So I just want to recap, because that, again, the science and the precision with which you do things. So engaging your lat as you do the...
Keeping your lat activated, open throughout the range of motion. So if you open your lats, it's very hard to get the trap to activate.
The trap. And then you also said something previously was about twisting your wrist a little bit.
So when you're doing a lateral raise, when you're rotating your wrist this way, this rotation is going to actually flex the deltoid and contract it. So as you're coming up and raising, you're going to get extra contraction with the rotation.
Cool. I love it. Yeah. I love that, man. I'm going to be trying that. I'm going to be doing that, the FST7, the superset, and then the twist. For sure. So where can everybody find you online if they want to connect with you and follow you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Jeremy_Buendia. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. My website is jeremybuendiafitness.com. That's where you guys can find my ebooks, lifestyle coaching, and my membership site. I've got tons of unseen training content on there that you can't find on YouTube. Also, I'm on YouTube, guys. I got 150,000 subscribers on there. Got a ton of intense training videos. What else? As far as coaching goes, for joining Team Hero, contest prep, you guys can just go ahead and just shoot me a message on Instagram, or I'm always posting my email on there. You guys can shoot me an email as well. Clothing, hairxhero.com. We'd love to have you be an ambassador of a brand to help spread this positive message. So if you guys are interested, you guys go to www.hair4u.com and you can apply. We're accepting ambassadors every so often to help spread this positive message across the world. And hopefully one day this logo is going to be the next Nike, but with a bigger message.
I love it. And is that logo an Olympia?
It's not Olympia.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's similar, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
All right. Cool. Hera X Hero. And Jeremy, man, you've had so much success. And I always ask everybody this, for you, what is your next level of success?
Just trying to figure out how I can impact the world on a larger scale, man. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and I know that, continue to give back and continue to put out positive energy in the world and doing good things is going to come back to me. So, from a financial standpoint, I know it's going to come. It has been coming, but my biggest concern right now is trying to figure out how I can help others. Yeah, that's as genuine as I could possibly be. I had somebody tell me the other day, that's a Miss America type answer. I was like, yeah, I guess so, huh? I guess call it Miss America, but hey, that's what I'm here for.
Dude, that's awesome, and I fully support it. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
If you guys enjoyed the show and learned something of value, the one ask that we have is please go subscribe.